Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Stars Cartel podcast. This week we are going over the love story of Ruth and Boaz, and we are right in the middle, in the beginning of March Madness, too, y'all. I just realized I've been recording these before, 2 weeks before March Madness. God has just been telling me to read this story and to do a podcast Bible study about this story. And now he's told me to upload certain parts, but just now he's telling me, okay, this is what I want you to do with it. So it's going to be so wonderful to be doing Bible study for my birthday. But anywho, we are in part 3 of Ruth and Boaz love story. We will be reading Ruth 2:14 through 23. And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. So we're basically learning that Boaz is eating dinner with Ruth immediately after just falling in awe with her, okay? And he is allowing her to eat as much as she can, and she eats until she is full. And yeah, it's I guess it's a symbol of he's not being cheap with her. He's not treating her like she is it's easy for him to find someone else, or it's easy for him to move on with someone else. He is absolutely showering her with love and attention, which I feel this is important because when a man is showing interest in you, you want him to act a certain way. He has to show you certain things. And if he isn't acting that way, maybe he's not really interested in you in the way that he should, the way Boaz was interested in Ruth, to the fact that he allowed her to eat as much as she could, to the fact that he asked other men to stop looking at her, don't talk to her, don't touch her. I want her to be my wife. To the fact that he told her he doesn't want her to go to anybody else because he wants her to be with him and only him. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not, and let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So she gleaned in the field until even, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she had sufficed. So now we are learning that Boaz has told his men, not only can y'all not look at her, not only can y'all not talk to her or touch her, I want you to allow her to work as long as she wants, and she can take whatever she wants, as much as she can carry. And when she returned back to the city after working hard and long, she went back to her mother-in-law, gave her the loaves of barley that she had got, and she also gave her the food that was left over after she had got full from the night before. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wrongest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she shewed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin to us, and one of our next kinsmen. So, like I said in part 2, Naomi once again is talking about Boaz being their next of kinsmen. And of course, today is not really smiled upon for you to marry someone who's related to your deceased husband. But back then, I am guessing it's seen as them keeping the property that he had in the family, because of course his property and everything that he owned would go to his new wife, and this is a whole new family. So with her staying married in their family, that property would stay in their family, and we're actually going to get into that later on in the next parts. But yeah. And Ruth the Moabitess said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. So Ruth tells Naomi that Boaz asked her to only work in his field. And Naomi is basically reinstating what Boaz asked her and telling her, well, you make sure you only work in his field and don't go and work in anyone else's field. Stay around the women who work in his field and don't allow them to see you in anyone else's field, which I find so interesting to be in scripture, because I know I am not the only person who knows that when you're in a relationship with someone and they have women around them, they will see if you do something like that, and they will tell. And I'm not saying that it's right to do that, or it's right, but if you're dating, which at this point in time they are dating, they literally just met. Like, when I say just met, she spent like, they just met, you know what I'm saying? And he has already put stipulations of he doesn't want her in any other man's field. He doesn't want the women that work around him to find out that she's been in any other man's field. He doesn't want her hanging out with any other women. He doesn't want his men to see her go anywhere else. And he doesn't want his men to talk to her or for her to have any other potentials per se. And that's what I feel like it is. He wants to be the one that she ends up with, which, that makes sense. And the point that she did seek out to get this attention is absolutely wonderful. But, just thinking about dissecting some of that, it is kind of like, girl, you better tread lightly if somebody puts you on lockdown like this here on the first day. But at the same time, in those times, it was not frowned upon. And I guess Boaz, he's like the bachelor, you know what I'm saying? He's balling. He's not a poor man to get chosen by. And that's not to say that a man is only seen as worth something because of how much he makes. Okay, because girl, I will be the last person to say something like that. But anyways, on another instance, still, Boaz, you wouldn't kind of doubt, you wouldn't kind of deny the attention that you will receive from Boaz, even if he's kind of being a little, just a tad bit overbearing. Like, I can't even sit here and say, allow a man that you met that one day, the next day, to say that he doesn't want you going around anybody else, and you have to do all of these stipulations like, yo, we just met. But anyways, so obviously this is not how things would go in normal life, but this is basically the first date / engagement at the same time, okay, of Boaz and Ruth. It's the first date. They had dinner together and the engagement, because after / during dinner, he tells her, I don't want you to see anybody else. I don't want you to be friends with anybody else's, with other women. I don't want you to wander off anywhere. I'm going to take care of you and your mother-in-law. Like, just please don't do such and such and such. It's like literally an engagement. Okay. So, and then on top of that, Ruth brings home the food and the offerings to her mother-in-law, and she further approves of what he has already told Ruth, that she shouldn't wander off to any other man, and she should definitely be with him and be on the winning team. Okay. Anyways, y'all, that's it for today's reading. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna post these, I don't know, at the same time, or maybe every day I'll post a new one. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for listening to the story with me. Be sure to check out part 4.